Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be propagating the beautiful Ficus elastica robusta by the air layering method. So I'm going to show you everything that you need to do this project with and show you obviously how to do it, and I'll be providing some updates along in the video here as well, so stay tuned. There's basically two methods of propagating a Ficus elastica, and honestly this can be applied to like other ficus plants like the fiddly fig and that sort of thing. But basically what you can do is find an area in between two nodes, like there, two leaves come off the stem. Cut it off, and then you can take that top cutting and just literally stick it in the container of water. Usually takes a couple months for those roots to be large enough to pot up in some soil, and then you can stick in some dirt. Today I'm going to be doing the air layering method. The concept with that is you cut away a portion of the stem, add some rooting material, or sorry, rooting medium like sphagnum moss or soil to the stem, and let those roots grow into that medium, and then you can cut the top off and then just literally stick it in a pot of soil, and it should be a fairly easy transition. So for this plant, it's really tall. It's actually obstructing our view of our TV right now because it's in our south-facing window in our living room, very close to TV. So I want to cut it back. Also want the main plant to start to branch out to a tree-like structure. So just looking at the size of this plant, I want maybe somewhere up in here. I just want this small little section to be the area where the roots come out. This whole portion of the top of the stem will be an entirely new plant. So yeah, the tough part for me is going to be cutting off of these leaves. So that's the first thing you want to do. Get in there nice and close, cut these leaves off. That one and this one. And it will start to leak like this little milky white substance. Just grab that paper towel. Okay, it's already running down the stem, and just clean that up there a bit, just so it doesn't stain the rest of the plant. So I just wipe that away. It's pouring out like milk. That's normal. Just keep that on there and just let that finish draining. And I'll show you what to do next. Uh-oh, made a mess on the floor here too. Just going to throw these leaves away. Oh, that's painful. They're so beautiful. Maybe I'll set this one aside. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but now I gotta clean up this mess. But I just want to show I'm doing this on more of the pliable green portion. As you go down, the plant starts to become more woody. So I'm not too sure if it's easier for the plant to push out roots on the green portion of the stem, or if it's okay to do on the woody portion. I found with jade plants and propagating like the woody portion of those stems, it takes a really long time for the new branches to develop. So that's why I'm doing it a little bit higher up on the plant here on the green kind of pliable area. Or soft area, I should say. So this is the tricky part. You want to take your utility knife, where is it? And basically you cut off the outer portion of the stem. So I'm going to make a little cut, just vertical like that. You don't want to go too deep so that you slice right through the plant. So I'm just going to cut a small little, basically window out of the stem. So top and the bottom, and then I'm going to make a cut just up there as well. And then I'm going to slice this away. I can always cut a little bit deeper if I need when I go along, but you want to go just above and below these leaf nodes. So I'm going to get my paper towel here again. I'm just going to wipe that away. And then I'm just going to slice off the stem here. Just like that. Like I said, not going too deep, just enough so that it gets to this inner portion. So you can see though. And I'm going to do this around the entire plant. Should probably mention that you should be wearing gloves, but I'm not. I'm just going to go wash my hands. I don't know if it's toxic or not, but I'm not wearing gloves. Okay, here's what the stem looks like after I've cut all the bark away, or the outer portion of the stem. So this is what it should look like, just kind of all the way around the entire plant, just so it has that open section. So I'm going to let this finish kind of dripping that white substance. I'm going to let it dry out a little bit. Like I said a minute ago, I would probably recommend using gloves. It is super sticky. I've never claimed to be an expert or anything like that. So it like washes off okay, but just be cautious, it is sticky. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to wrap this with soil. I'm actually going to use soil and perlite just because I want it to obviously be potted up in soil, and I don't like sphagnum moss because I don't want it to get tangled up in the roots. I have seen some people use like just a plastic saran wrap or baggie or something around the stem, but I'm actually going to use this empty water bottle. I'm going to attach it to the stem, so I'm just going to size it up for right now. So I want it a little bit lower than the cut portion, and I want it a little bit higher. So I'm probably going to cut maybe halfway up the bottle here. So I'm just going to cut this bottle with the utility knife. Just slice it up like this. Then I'm going to cut a hole in the bottom to the size of the stem. So I'm just going to measure that up quickly, and then I'll place this around the stem, and I'll put all the soil inside of it, and then I'm going to wrap it with this baggie just to keep in the moisture and humidity. Okay, so it turns out the stem width is actually the same size as this little circle here. So I'm going to just slice it down the side here first, right to the bottom. Then I'm going to cut that little circle out. Just like that. So the reason why you want the side open is obviously you have to wrap it around the stem, and then without slicing my finger off, I'm just going to cut around this little circle. And when you bring it over to the plant, you simply just place it around the stem like this. It seats itself just like that. And I can actually just use tape just to kind of secure it, and it just sits like that. Now before I completely secure this to the plant, I'm actually going to be adding some rooting hormone. This is the brand that I use, and I'm going to basically rub this on the stem with a Q-tip. So I'm just going to pour a little bit into the cap. That way I'm not contaminating the rest of the rooting hormone. Dump it in there like that, just something small like that, and then just take the Q-tip and just rub it on the stem. You don't have to, like if you don't have rooting hormone, that's okay, but I do have it in my collection here, so I'm just going to add that to the stem. Like I said, I've rooted plants before without rooting hormone, so you don't absolutely need it, but I'm just going to be using it on this one. So, okay, now I'm going to be adding the tape. Just so soil doesn't fall out the sides. And I chose the clear container so I can keep an eye on the progress of the roots. I want to see them popping through, and just like that. Now I'm just going to add some water into some dry soil. Obviously you don't want dry soil in there, so just kind of pre-moisten it here. Now back over to the plant. I'm just going to be taking this paste and just dumping it into the container. I'll position this a little bit better here just so the soil is around the stem like that. Just poke it down lightly so it's in the middle. Kind of wants to lean to that side because of this leaf here, but that's okay. Just keep adding it until it covers up the cut portion of the stem. I'm not going to put it like too high above that because I don't want the stem to rot or anything like that, but just stick it in there. Oh God, I'm making a mess. Again, just push it all around just so it sits nicely. It doesn't look like anything's falling, no soil's falling out the bottom, but there is some water dripping out the bottom. That's okay. It's just going to run right down to the plant. So that's actually working out pretty good. So I just grabbed a little baggie thinking I could use like the zipped portion to seal up the top, but it doesn't really work. So you can use like saran wrap, baggie, whatever you got, just any sort of piece of plastic. Just wrap it around the stem. And then I got these little plant ties that I'm just going to twist up along the bottom here. Again, this is just to help kind of keep in the moisture, just so it doesn't dry out too fast. And same with the top, just twist it around the stem here and just add one of those ties, just like so. Okay, so it's been almost exactly 2 months, and check this out. Got some roots poking through the bottom here. I have not touched this container, I haven't opened it up or anything like that, so let's open it up and see what we got. This will be the first time I'll be seeing these roots outside of the container here. As soon as I remove all of the packaging here, I'm ready to cut the top off here and pot this up in some soil. Okay, I don't care if I get soil everywhere. I will clean it up afterwards. Okay, let's see what we got. I'll try to keep as much of the soil as I can without disturbing it. I'm just gonna rotate it around. Yeah, those are some pretty cool roots. Hopefully I'm getting this. I got Pickles upstairs losing her mind. She's barking like crazy. And not only did I make a huge mess on my floor here, like I said, it's not a big deal, but look what happened to my pruning shears. They fell out of my hands and they stuck right into my floor, so that's probably not good. Oh boy, okay. That didn't leave any marks, not that I can see, but okay. Close it up and put it to the side. So I'll try and get in as close as I can and keeping it focused here, but all the roots basically grew from one side. I don't know if it looks like it started to regrow some bark. I'm just gonna kind of rotate it here. So I don't know what happened there, but it's definitely got some nice roots. It looks like it's just a few, maybe 1 or 2 roots. I don't want to like damage it, but it looks like it's 1 or 2 roots that have kind of branched out. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm going to hold on to the cutting here, maybe a little bit higher, and then I'm going to take my pruning shears and just snip it right below all those roots and just above this leaf node, just like that. Now I have an entirely new cutting with roots that I can now pot up in some soil. And then this section, or this mother plant, I'm hoping that it'll start to branch out in a couple areas and get this into more of a tree-like structure. Okay, here's the mother plant with the top portion cut off. It looks absolutely crazy right now. It looks so different, and I'm hoping it branches out in a few areas. Now all I'm going to do is take this top cutting, pot it up in this clear orchid pot. I want to keep an eye on the roots again. So I'm basically just going to put it at the bottom of the pot, maybe a little bit off the bottom, just so it doesn't topple over, because this is a pretty large cutting. It weighs quite a bit. So I'm going to cut this bottom leaf off. Let's throw this one away. The stem is basically at the bottom of this pot, and as it grows I might have to put it into something larger. I'm just using a tropical plant mix with some orchid bark. You want to make sure it is a well-draining soil for ficus plants. They don't like to sit in soil that retains a lot of moisture. So this is leaking a little bit, so I'm just going to put like maybe a little bit of soil just on top of that, just so it stops. Okay, now I'm simply just going to add in all the soil. Going to give it some water, and that is pretty much it. That's the whole concept with air layering, is that you get roots established on a plant before you propagate it or take the cutting. Now it should just start to push out more roots and continue the growth from the top. I spread it off, gave it some water, made it look nice and shiny and pretty for you guys. I could not be happier with how it turned out. It was a complete success, a really healthy root system. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down below in the comment section. I really appreciate the support. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.